Hello?
It says we're live.
Are we?
I don't know if we are. Oh.
I hear. Yeah.
Okay, there. I turned off the mute. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Let's go.
Well, I've got sound coming from somewhere.
No, that was me. I just muted it. We're good.
No,
Oh, it's on your end.
it is on my end.
Painfully honest technical difficulties.
All right, it's muted.
Frustrating, hey?
Oh,
I was just telling Jason, everybody, that for the first time in my life, I can say, it's you, not me.
it's actually friggin' what you call it?
It was Chrome because you're using Firefox now.
Yeah, I had to switch to a totally different browser.
But I'm using Chrome.
I
don't know. I guess StreamYard, because this look at the logo with the quack, the duck.
It says beta.
So
I know. I don't understand how it could work perfectly every single time. Better than freaking Google ever did.
Yeah.
And then like give me an hour and a half worth of problems.
It was like a flat. And I get really nervous when Jason gets like when we have issues like this, because I could see it in his face. Me, I just throw stuff like you should. But I can see in your face, like you know that Simpsons episode, anger rising.
Yeah. It's just been like it's been one of those days where I feel like I just feel like crap anyway. So this is just like now my back is all knotted up and in pain.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna go through these topics. We're gonna talk about the Lou thing. It seems like everybody's talking about that right now, like a more positive spin on tech. We're gonna talk about Pixel 4. We're gonna talk about OnePlus 7T. I'm excited for the 7T. I'm excited because it's the OnePlus that we should have had earlier this year.
Okay.
Right? Okay. What else?
You mean cheaper?
We'll talk about wearables. I'm using this. I just did a video on this. Tap that. This is the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2.
I cracked my screen protector.
Okay, well at least you didn't crack your screen.
Yeah, I know. I just put this thing on like 2 days ago. And
what phone is that?
This is the 11 Pro.
11 Pro, okay.
Yeah, and I hope I didn't crack the screen because I might be sending this thing back. So.
I upgraded from the 11 Pro to the 11 Pro Max.
Yeah, I sent the 11 Pro Max back.
I spent 4 hours in the Apple Store doing a restore because they're like, oh, well, just use our Wi-Fi. It's fast. And meanwhile, they have a class over here teaching people how to use iMovie, and everybody else is connected to the Wi-Fi. But, it was kind of cool. I've never been in an Apple Store that long. I almost started wearing khakis.
Did you almost start wandering around like you might work there, but you're not quite sure?
I started wondering. I'm like, maybe I'll buy this. And it'll cost too much, and I'll buy this.
Yeah. I actually kind of hate the Apple Store. It's
Why?
Really because I always feel like I've walked into somebody's house.
Okay.
And like I wasn't invited, so I'm just kind of like hanging out. Because it's like you try to get somebody to help you, and you're like, I see these people that work here. They're not paying any attention to me.
Hey, everybody, if I'm too dark, like I just turned off a light here. If I'm too dark, let me know. I really don't want to have to turn that back on, but I will.
Turned off my light too. My light, I can use the Stream Deck to push a button and turn it back on.
You know what? I want Elgato to because I want that light, but I don't want to spend $400 Canadian on that light. Do you know what I mean?
It was.
It's nice.
I got it for $174 on Amazon. It's typically $199.
No, it's like 300 Canadian or something. It's ridiculous. But you know what I do want? I want to find the clamp arm that they use. I can't find that, and I thought guys like Newer or whatever made that, but I can't find it.
No. This is like a special purpose built thing. I've never seen this one.
Yeah,
but because
if I could get that, I can move this back, and then I wouldn't need that.
But yeah, this light is for real. Like right now, I can.
It's got like an app and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go
That's
up
cool,
here.
man.
I can go up here and
All right.
see if I can
Let's
find
let's
it.
get on topic. Let's talk about the Pixel. Actually, let's talk about these together because I feel like they're definitely competing products. Like they're definitely going for people's money. Pixel 4 and the upcoming OnePlus 7T.
Yes.
Okay. So
Upcoming
you
is
put
in like 10 days.
yes. So you put out a phenomenal video yesterday,
Thank you.
about like this is last chance for Pixel. Like it's been this is 4 years. I mean, I had some issues with 7 of them with
Yeah.
blue screens. That's a Pixel 2 XL.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you made some very good points. So why don't you go ahead and kind of expand on that?
Well, I mean, I started to get concerned. I hadn't really been paying attention to the Pixel, the leaks, the blah, 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 all that stuff. I hadn't really been paying a ton of attention until I saw that leak that was talking about how it might be like the Pixel 4 XL might be 1149 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if if that's what they do,
Mm-hmm.
they have lost their minds.
Yeah.
They have absolutely lost their minds. There's like they haven't been able to garner any kind of market share to this point. And even but and I was talking about this a little last week, but I actually before the video went out and did some research and found out exactly how much market share they did not have. Samsung has over 22% market share over the last 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Apple has like 53%. This is just in North America because North America is like a clear picture. We can know what we're talking about when we're talking about North America. We don't have to think about, what phones are available where, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. But in North America, 53% for Apple, 22% for Samsung, and 2.2% for the Pixel.
Mm-hmm.
LG has like almost 6%. And I mean, LG makes more phones. They have budget phones, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Motorola, which only does budget phones at this point, really. I mean, they're not selling any of their higher end phones at all.
The Motorola fans are pretty dedicated too. Let's not take away from them. They do.
Well,
make
no,
a
I'm
good
not.
device.
But I mean, even them, they're above the Pixel in market share by like two percentage points.
And like you said in your video, take away the awesome camera, and what does Pixel really offer you? I don't want to trigger any Pixel fanboys, but
well, I mean, I'm only going to speak to what we know has happened. This has nothing to do with the Pixel 4. I'm not going to talk about the Pixel 4 when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
What we've gotten is an incredibly inconsistent experience, both in hardware and software.
Yeah, I agree.
That has only been given a pass because it's Google and because the camera is as good as it is. But you take away the camera and you give any of those problems to any other phone, and people don't give phone companies slack like that. Imagine if the iPhone threw out an LED or an OLED screen that would like turn blue.
Oh, right? Man.
Imagine if people would lose their freaking minds.
Well, I had, to be fair, when I was comparing Pixel 2s to the iPhone 10, I did have some blue shifting, but it was never even close to as bad as.
And I found that the longer I used, like, because my original iPhone 10s Max last year had a little bit of a shift to it. But I found that after time, it sort of balanced out and it wasn't really there anymore.
Yeah.
504, thank you for the 504 super chat.
Oh, yes.
Much appreciated.
Super chat chain. Whoop whoop. We don't have sound effects.
Yeah.
We can work on that. I'm sure we can get sound effects.
Well, I'm just pleased that we have sound at all right now.
So here's my thing about the Pixel 4. I'm in complete agreement with all your points and everything. I mean, let's be honest. I helped you with the video.
Yeah.
Google has to come at a competing price point at the same level, if not lower, than Apple. But obviously, keep in mind all the tech heads with the upcoming 7T. So they got to come at that price point or lower. Forget about it. Now, for myself personally, for my channel and as a fan, if they don't come at that price point or lower, I'm not even going to review it because I'm just going to tell you, go get a 17, save your money.
Yeah. No, I mean, if the Pixel 4 is not $799 or $699, no, it has to be $699.
Do you think so? That's really low.
Well, the iPhone 11 is $699.
True. That's true. Okay, yeah. I keep on thinking Canadian pricing, but yeah, go ahead.
So if they price the Pixel 4 above the iPhone 11, even though, yes, I know it's going to have an OLED screen, it's going to have blah, 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 but they have not delivered on the hardware consistently for a long, long time. So every single Pixel device has had something wrong with it. So they have not earned the right at this point to price their phones at a premium, especially this year.
Yeah.
Because now you have the iPhone camera is much better. You have the Note 10 phone. That camera is really good. The V50 is really good. Like, there is not a bad camera.
Would you call this the year of compromise? Or would you say going to 2020 is more of a year of compromise because Apple threw down the gauntlet and said, hey, check it out?
Yeah, I think that Apple's still got more up their sleeve in terms of being able to do something different. I don't know about compromise because there isn't really any compromise if you think about it this way. You can go buy any smartphone. You know, we'll just concern ourselves with flagship smartphones. You can go buy any flagship smartphone and have an amazing, almost flawless experience with it. You know, there's not been a smartphone come out this year that's like blowing up or, you know, having a blue shift screen or whatever. None of the problems of like even 2 years ago exist now. So you can't go wrong. You go out and you get a phone and it's going to be a good experience. So then it's like, okay, so if that's the case, what do I judge my purchase decision on? Now the Pixel used to be the camera, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted the best camera on a smartphone, you paid for the Pixel and dealt with the bugs and dealt with the hardware weirdness. So now Google has to give people a reason to want to buy their phone when all the other phones have caught up to the one thing that they're good at.
Yeah. I'm on record. I still believe this. The Note 10 Plus is one of the best cameras I've had this year. Now, say what you will about Samsung saturation in photos. They make pleasing. I mean, you saw my Moraine Lake photos and everything, right? It's pleasing photography.
Right.
I actually, a little side thing. All the video from the rock pile there that I took was actually shot 4K with the Note 10 Plus.
Yeah,
all of it. The stuff on the gimbal and everything like that. So say what you will, but yeah. And then Apple comes along with the 11. You know, put aside the Pro one. You know, because honestly, unless you really know what you're doing, and it's mostly video, the telephoto will take advantage of. I'm not saying pictures don't, but I mean, we've seen side by sides and they're virtually identical.
Yeah.
And now I kind of go, okay, your move, Google. Oh my gosh, and look at that price point.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm seeing a little bit of the same kind of comments that I got on my video, which is like, well, Google's not a hardware company. Well, it's like, then stop making phones.
159 souls in here. Thank you for joining us late.
Yeah, thank you for sticking with us.
Appreciate it.
Technical difficulties were. I need another pill. Ugh. But anyway, yeah. But if Google makes phones, they are a hardware company.
Well, let's be. I mean, okay, so yes, they
I mean,
are, but I mean, they want to ultimately get their services and your data from you. That's more valuable.
so they don't have to make a phone to do that.
Yeah. No,
They're,
and you
they
know what?
don't.
For years they have though, Jason. But I mean, Google Docs and everything like that have all been available for years and years and years. Maps,
Yeah,
photos, right?
you can get Google services on every single device in the
Yeah,
world except for Huawei.
yeah. I've got, I've got Google services running on this Apple, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's absolutely. I mean, if that's your defense, if your defense is, well, they're not a hardware company, so cut them some slack.
No.
They are a hardware company. They're trying to make these phones. They made the Nexus phones before. They made the 3A and 3A XL earlier this year. They are in the market. They
Mm-hmm.
are selling phones.
Yep.
So that's a ridiculous justification because they most certainly are a hardware company, especially if they're coming out with phones charging upwards of $900 to $1,000, which they are.
Mm-hmm.
But the point here is that hasn't worked all that well for them thus far. You know, they've been on Verizon, and that's another sort of like, well, they've been on Verizon, so it's not their
Mm-hmm.
fault.
Let's do something here. I'm gonna bring up. You keep on talking. I'm gonna bring up a screen here for you to share. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the thing is, like last time I checked, Verizon was the largest carrier in the United States. So it's not like the Pixel was only available on Sprint. You know, people could buy the Pixel. There have been great deals on the Pixel, everything else. The problem is no one's done it. No one has done it. The Pixel in the real world, in the world where people don't sit around and talk about smartphones and navel gaze about features, in the real world, nobody knows what the Pixel is and nobody cares. Okay? So Google has to do something because they're not just making these phones. These aren't showcase phones for their operating system because it's not even vanilla Android anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like added features that Google puts in there, right? So, I mean, they've got to differentiate themselves in a market where everybody's making a great smartphone and Google is not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Google has not made a good smartphone yet. They've made phones that are good, except for this, or except for that, or blah blah blah. Podcastage is in here with the $20 super chat.
Nice. Can you bring up my screen?
Yes, I can. Thank you,
Cool.
Podcastage.
All right. So let's take a look here, folks.
Yeah.
This right here. This is US pricing. Google's got to come in at this. They got to come in at this, maybe $50, maybe $100 more. But anything higher than that, and I think they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think they can go there. I don't think that they I don't think they can do it.
Like, this is the Oneplus that we and you know what? The other thing I noticed, not a lot of people are talking about this. Flat screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Caleb. I like curved screens. Samsung does it right. I think OnePlus does it right. But you and I have both had issues. I know some people don't. You can get software. Blah 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 blah. I shouldn't have to download a piece of software for work. Anyway,
No.
but
I mean, let's just pause on that for a second
Okay,
to
go ahead,
reiterate the point.
Sure.
If you buy a smartphone
Mm-hmm.
from a company like Samsung and they make their screens curved,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't pick up the phone or use the phone without accidentally making something happen that you don't want to have happen,
Mm-hmm.
that is a design flaw.
How many times have you and I both talked about this? You're watching a video and you tap, like you're watching YouTube and you tap like in the recommended.
This finger might curl
Yes,
around and then
exactly.
suddenly it's like touching the next video.
Yes.
Annoying.
Yes.
And I don't care if there's a toggle in the settings or if and then an additional app that you can download. You buy an $1,100 smartphone,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to go get other freaking software to make it function correctly.
That just
That
is backwards.
stupid.
Yep. So let's keep on going here. 90. I mean, I'm on record saying this. 90 hertz refresh rate is kind of a gimmick until batteries are better. Because I mean, oh my god, like you said in your video, it's so terrible at 60 hertz. Oh my god. I mean, yes, it's eye pleasing, but it's not any faster.
And here's the thing: like, scroll back down to that example. Scroll back up to that
The 90
example.
hertz.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can play it.
All right, so you should see how it's like showing it all smooth and everything. Here's a secret for you people. Okay? We're watching it on a 60 hertz screen. We can't see 90 hertz. That's animation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not actually real.
Preach it.
That's not real. You can't see 90 hertz on a 60 hertz screen.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So stop being fleeced by these companies and this, like, you know, snake oil of high refresh rates on a freaking 6-inch screen. Who cares?
You know what? It is eye pleasing, but it's not necessary, and your battery will thank you for putting the 60. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can see the difference if you look, or if you put a 60 hertz beside a 90 or a 120 hertz screen. You can see the difference.
200 people in here, Jason.
Hello, people.
So I think we've done pretty well considering the technical difficulties.
Yes, considering we were more than an hour and a half late.
All right, so HDR10 plus. I mean, we've seen that at other screens. Okay, great. I mean, that's good. In-display fingerprint. We know that their in-display is going to be faster.
I gotta say though, I don't know what HDR10 plus means.
It just means it's going to look awesome, just like a Samsung screen. It probably is. I think it is built by Samsung.
You know what else they could do? They could just make it look awesome and not have to give it some kind of crazy name that seems like it means something more than the awesome screen that they had last year.
Apple did that. They call it the HD whatever res.
Yes, I know. Apple always does that. Apple always does that.
At least OnePlus is using like a real name.
Right? Well, yeah, but can I go out and buy a TV that has HDR plus 10 plus on it? No. What's the plus?
Let's go to the camera. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I think this is cool. This looks cool. And the videos I saw, it looks cool. I like the look of this. This is cool. All right. The back of the iPhone looks cool. All right. So Jason, what do you think of it?
I mean, it's not. I think it's kind of ugly, but you know.
Okay, so we got OIS, we got EIS, we got ultra shot, ultra wide. I mean, everything that we kind of expect. I mean, look at this animation. All right, so you get like the bigger. Here, let's all play it over again. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right. So
what's that showing us?
I don't know, but here's the Nightscape. I mean, their Nightscape has always been pretty good. Portrait mode, bokeh. Right. So let's go here, and then you can. I don't know how you play that, but anyway, let's see here. Performance. All right, let's go. We're going to talk about the specs. Okay, so here's a game. Was that PUBG?
Yeah. Snapdragon 855 plus.
855 plus haptic vibration. You know what? Their vibration thing is actually pretty good. UFS 3.0. I mean, it's fast, right?
Yeah.
Let me keep on. Dolby Atmos, which I mean, cool, right?
Sure.
Now look at this. Now I don't know if you can see this on the left-hand side. See where my cursor is? There's a big grill up there, right, built into the frame. Do you see that?
I can't.
Nice and thin. You see it? Right, but they still have a bottom firing. Why they couldn't put something along this edge?
No, I mean, well, the days of having actually two speakers facing your face, are gone. Unfortunately, except for the Razer phone.
Yeah, no wireless charging, Rob. Wow, Jason, I just called you my son's name. Sorry.
Yeah, well.
But we have Warp Charge 30T.
Here's the thing. At $599, I'm okay. No wireless charging.
Yeah.
At $799, no wireless charging. That's stupid.
Yeah. No,
so when they came out with the 7 Pro without wireless charging, and the phone cost pretty much as any other flagship out there that does have it, then that's not good.
Mm-hmm. 221 people.
If you're gonna have a phone that comes in at $599, I'm fine if you leave out something like wireless charging.
What do you think of the design? I mean, I should say, what about the color? Like, which one speaks to you? Just the color.
I mean, the gray one looks better to me, but that's
Yeah.
I mean, I would never carry a blue phone. I did last year because that's all I could get of the Samsung. But
I really liked the blue earlier this year, Nebula blue.
yeah,
so I think I will go for this Glacier. It's not a frosted back. Let's be clear about that. So it could be somewhat fingerprinty. But we'll see. Carefully crafted. Look at that. Look at that camera module just making everybody triggered. Choose your color. Okay, here we go. The specs. Okay, so 90 hertz, Qualcomm 855 plus, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Surprised at that. I thought they would go with 12. But I think I read somewhere that the Android system can't utilize any more than 6.5 anyway at a time.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, 12 is like good, sure, but like I don't know how a smartphone is using more than 8. You know,
48 megapixel ultra wide triple camera.
See, people get a little misled by the megapixel numbers these days.
Especially when you're like posting like social media, because there's a compression. Maybe not. It's bad on Twitter. We know that, but maybe not on Instagram, for example, or Flickr. I think Flickr is full res.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But like 40, when you start thinking about what were they like super pixels or whatever, like, so there are all kinds of different ways to get more light into the camera, get more resolution into the camera, and it doesn't have anything to do quite as much these days as back in the old days when it was like, 24 megapixels.
Yeah.
You know,
3,800 milliamp battery. I mean, I've always said that 4,000 is kind of the magic point for Android, but the fact that you have the warp charge, cool, right?
I guess. I mean,
I could sit down for dinner for 20, 30 minutes and it'll be back. Like we've all talked about this before.
Yeah, now, I mean, it's a tougher sell this year when the iPhone, like when the Pro models of the iPhone, or well, any model of the iPhone is so crazy good.
I want to check something here real quick. So we're gonna go to GSM Arena. I always like doing this. I've been doing this lately in my videos. We're gonna do a compare here. So we got the 7T here. I'm gonna go OnePlus 7 Pro. Okay, so I'm gonna go Pro, and then I'm gonna click on differences. So anything that's grayed is the same. Okay.
Right.
All right. So keep in mind, everybody, the Pro, the OnePlus 7 Pro is on the left. On the right. The new 7T is on the left. Okay, we're gonna skip all the network stuff. Dimensions. Okay, look how much heavier the Pro is compared to the new one. Now you had that. Like, it's a heavy phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So again, we got Corning Glass 5. Okay, look at the size here. Size 6.55. The new one's 6.67, so just a little bit bigger there. Resolution. The Pro has looks like more pixels. I remember seeing that in Matthew Monis's video. Okay. So 402 compared to 512. Honestly, I don't know if your eye will see it. Okay. Let's keep on going here. Platform memory. Okay. So yes. So earlier this year, 12 or 8. Earlier this year, 6 or 12. Now it's 128.8, which, 128 is a perfect number. I wish that I wish the iPhone 11 Pro came in 128 rather than going 64 and then jumping to 256.
Yeah,
because that would have brought down the price significantly. 128 is perfect. I can work with 64 even at a high end user. I can work with it, but 128 is like perfect for everybody. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
256 is like a luxury number.
Yeah, I get it if you don't have like a great data plan or you don't have access to Wi-Fi all the time and everything like that. So I get why people want like larger storages and everything like that.
But you would have to think that if you're dropping $1,100 for a smartphone, you're probably also paying for the unlimited data plan.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it all depends on
So
where you. It depends on where you are in the world and everything like that. Now I don't know if this is new. I don't know if the Pro had UFS 3.0, but this point is it's fast. The new one's fast. Okay.
yeah, the Pro was the first phone that had that UFS 3 storage.
Now let's look at the cameras here. So 48 f1.6. That's all the same. Laser autofocus. There's no laser autofocus on the new one, but it may be just a misprint here from GSM Arena. They're not always. They don't always have a dual LED. Video 720 at 960. Over here we had 720 at 480.
Right.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Selfie camera 16 earlier this year 16. So everything looks the same there. Sound, everything else, blah 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 blah. The battery earlier this year 4,000. Now we're at 3,000. Okay.
Right.
Same 30 watts. So there's not a lot. If you're big on displays, I mean, this is going to be key for you right here. And then also in terms of the pixel density. Where was it? I can't even find. It doesn't even matter. So here we go. Earlier this year with the Pro 516. Now we're at 402. I would bet in a blind test that most people could not tell the difference.
Well, no, I would bet that they can't. And the reason for that, I mean, it's the reason that Apple calls the Retina display.
Mm-hmm.
When Apple first came up with the idea of the Retina display, they wanted to have the pixel density good enough that you could not, as an individual, like you could not with the naked eye see individual pixels.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Retina display meant.
Mm-hmm.
Now Super Retina XDR like doesn't mean anything at all, but that was their initial thing. So, and I think Retina display was like 350 pixels per inch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going between 6,000 and 4,000 or whatever that was, you're not really going to look and be like, oh, I mean, where the big difference would come is in the brightness.
Yep.
So if your phone, if one phone is like 1,000 nits and another one's 1,500 or something,
didn't they say that this new one would be brighter?
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought I read that somewhere that's brighter. I mean, I've never had an issue with the brightness on the OnePlus phones. Have you?
No.
Yeah.
Khalil gives us the 326 PPI. That's the official Retina, the official Retina number.
Cool. So like not a lot of big differences if you're really breaking it down. And of course, the biggest thing, I mean, this look $599 price point. If I go to the 7 Pro, it starts at $669, right? So when you look at it that way, like, yeah, of course I want the T. Now, look at the 6T. Like, how much is the 6T going for? On officially $499. Like, that's still a good phone. I just sold one almost for the same amount I bought it for to a guy a few months ago. The 6T is still a great device.
See, now, if the OnePlus 7 Pro had come out and cost $669 when it launched, I would have had much fewer problems with it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the butt phone as you called it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, because yeah, if you're gonna leave stuff out and all that kind of thing, and you're gonna be competing at flagship prices, with the big boys.
Yeah.
But that phone's not even been out for 6 months, has it?
Came out in March.
Yeah. So
March. Yeah.
So not even 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's well, maybe close to 6 months at this point. It didn't launch at $669, Sean. I thought it was like $799. I know.
I paid like
bought one.
I paid like $1,099 Canadian. So do the conversion less 30%.
Yeah, so that's $799 or so.
Hold on, because this is gonna bug me now. Hold on, let me find it. Let me just bring up my email here. See here, OnePlus. Okay, so when did it come out? In March this year? You have a refund. You have adjusted the cost. Your OnePlus shipment. Okay. DHL. Nope, that's not it. New order. Okay, so this was placed on May 17th. OnePlus Pro 11, OnePlus 7 Pro Nebula 8GB 256 was 1,049 Canadian. So do 1,049 Canadian converted back to the US. And I know there was an extra $100 tacked on there as well. So we do CAD to US. Would I say 1,000? So 1,049.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 793. I think it was like 799 US.
Yeah. Well, and Tech King Mike and Trenton here are both saying it was $699 on T-Mobile.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And maybe that's right. But still, it was underwhelming for where they were trying to position it, in my opinion. So
anyway, I'll go ahead and I like that we can share the screen. I think people like that when we do that. So go ahead and turn that off. Let's move on to our next topic here. Let's talk about this. Is tech too toxic?
Well, first we have to talk about where this whole thing comes from, right?
Yeah.
So what was it, last weekend? A couple of days ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Lou from Unbox Therapy releases a video about how, you know, he wants to get back into enjoying tech, and he's recognizing that he's been part of like a toxic sort of environment where you know, people are judging people's worth based on things and whether or not a smartphone is good or not.
Well, he addressed that bullying. He didn't come out and actually say it, but you know, I mean, how many times have we seen this with a Lou thumbnail?
Oh yeah. I mean,
right.
He's the king of like the super dramatic title and
we're guilty of it too.
Well, yeah, but you know, hey, motivation theory is here.
Can you fix our screen so we're side by side? Like for example, I put out a video just a few weeks ago saying I almost returned the Note 10 Plus until I discovered this, and yes, I wouldn't say it was an exaggeration. It was just an extreme what happened, because I had that discussion with the guys in the Discord and everything like that. And I was ready to return it.
Right.
And then I was like, I really took it out and tried a lot of the features and everything like that. So I titled that way. It got the clicks. It got the attention.
Sure.
But I probably could have gone a different route. But I know that you did a video even before Lou talking about some of the toxicity. Our friend John did a video, like, what was it, last year? The tech community is a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, I did my video just based on the idea that like, it's this being like really the third or fourth year that I've covered smartphones, and like, especially last year, the narrative that I was a part of was, you know, this sort of like Apple is not being Apple anymore. And I was feeling a lot of pressure internally to be like, well, should I just, you know, go with that and play the character and, you know, get the views, or do I want to just be more true to myself? And, you know, this year, I think Apple is way different. What they've been doing and what they are doing in the past, you know, in this calendar year has been way different than how they operated even a year ago. So I feel better about Apple right now. So I didn't want to just have to like go out there and be negative about it, because I felt like that's what people expected of me. The weird thing being like, since that time, since I've started to not do that, views have gone down.
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, but it's just really, I mean, phone season has been really stressful for me this year because I just, there's not really all that much to talk about.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your perspective. I mean, you and I both know, and tech reviewers in general on this platform know that if you want to get the views and the trigger and the people and all that kind of stuff, go negative on Apple and go whatever on direction on this device. And the thing is, I can't go negative on Apple because this year, as opposed to last year, I'm impressed. Like, because like for me, camera is like one of the top. Like when I think of the top 10 things for a camera is like in the top 3, if not the number one thing. Like I gotta have an awesome camera, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this year they did it. Like now I could totally get away with just the regular 11.
Yeah.
But when I saw what they did with the Pro, and I was kind of forward thinking to the next year. I'm like, the things I could create, the things I could do with that. Even if I only did it once or twice, that was worth paying the extra, right? So I don't have anything negative to say right now about the iPhone. I've truly enjoyed my experience. Now, if I was stuck on a desert island and I could take either an Apple or a Samsung with me, I would take a Samsung.
Fair enough.
Like I create with Apple, iPad for my thumbnails. I'm on a MacBook Pro right now with you. I've got an Apple Watch, but I spend all day on my Note. Love this phone. Love this phone. Right?
Motivation Theory, thank you for the $5 super chat. I will enjoy the coffee.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, that's my whole thing is we've reached a point where pretty much every smartphone on every camera that costs every smartphone that costs like more than $600 is amazing. Considering what you could do a year, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you can't get a bad camera on a smartphone this year.
I want to really quickly address BMAC. Now, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but our good friend Roberto Blake put it like this: if you can't be first, do it the best. Okay, so I know there's that whole race to like who's got the first. Like, okay, for example, I had the Razer phone cases, the new Razer phone cases for the iPhone weeks ago, but I recently sent them back because I have to get ones that fit my Macs now. And everybody, all the big tech tubers have all come out with it and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I have a different angle of how I'm going to show them and present that. And hopefully have more of a use case rather than doing the same thing as every other tech person, which is here's a box, I'm going to open it, and here's the colors, and here's the specs. Boring.
Right.
People want use cases and real life. At least I feel that that's the shift, and that's the kind of audience I'm guarding. But I understand where BMAC's coming from with the whole first thing. But I'm just saying, if you can't be first, do it the best in a different direction.
Well, I mean, BMAC and I talked about this on Viper's live stream a couple of weeks ago. When it came to the iPhone, the being first aspect of it really mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the only time during smartphone season when you, no matter what size YouTuber you were going to get the iPhone on the same day as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you could get out early in the morning, get your iPhone, unbox, first impressions, get a video up by noon, then you had a good shot at having a lot of people watch your video. And that kind of momentum would then carry on to the next videos that you did, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I've gone through that twice myself and seen like the momentum sort of take off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last September I gained 40,000 subscribers just because of iPhone stuff. So without that opportunity this year, it's like by the time I got my phone, everybody else had already done their event thing, their first impressions, and they were releasing their reviews on the day that I was like out getting the phone.
Yeah.
So by the time I was ready to really create any kind of content about the iPhone, everybody's sick of the iPhone because all the big YouTubers have already like talked about it and done their 1,000 videos and whatever. So I mean that was a major hit for me this year, not being able to be competitive, and BMAC is, you know, sort of saying the same thing.
But are those really reviews? People that are sending a review on the same day?
No, but they've had the phone for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, Marquez was like, I'm staying up late and so I can get this review out before tomorrow. He'd had the phone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like he gets to do his full on review after he's already done his first impressions. I think he did one talking about the cameras and blah, 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 blah. Right. And so when Marquez and everybody else can soak up all that bandwidth before somebody of my size or your size or anybody else who's not getting the phone ever gets the phone, then we're just fighting for scraps.
Yeah.
You know, we're just fighting for scraps after that. And this is the first time that's happened with the iPhone. It's always been that way with the other phones, but the iPhone is always like the biggest event of the year in terms of phones.
Yeah. I would hope that the people that are searching for the content, watching, whether it be us or smaller creators, I mean, I would hope that if you're making a real purchase decision, you're not just watching 1 or 2 creators. You're watching at least 3 or 4 videos to get different perspectives.
Yeah.
Different use cases. Like I know a lot of the people in my comment section, like I'm small, but I'm getting a lot of people saying, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing your use case. I'm looking forward to seeing your journey here for fitness and everything like that, to see how it really applies. Like I know Greg, for example, Greg's Gadgets, he lost 100 pounds or whatever it was. Because he did that great series and everything like that using the Apple Watch. So that's a great use case. Something for people to follow along, because let's be really clear. In a few weeks here, Black Friday, you know, next month. Wow, it's October already. Hey? I mean, these devices are going to be on sale. Now, Apple typically doesn't go out for crazy sales, but I mean, if you go to Best Buy, you might get like a free this or a free gift card or something like that, right? So that'll be a better deal for you, right?
Right.
Who knows what your carrier may have it on if you're signing a contract. So people are still making decisions now, right? And like Brenna Miller says here, thank you. Your opinion counts. I mean, our friend Viper said this many times. Only Viper can make a Viper video. Only Painfully Honest Tech can make a Painfully Honest Tech video. Do you know what I mean? Right. You know for a fact, Jason, there are people in your comment section that only watch you first, or look forward to yours, or they're okay with waiting for a while with yours, for your stuff. So I understand the pressure. I understand the weight on that. And I understand how it sucks this year. It's just we really got to work hard to differentiate ourselves and bring some sort of different value to the table. For myself, I'm trying to more personalize my stuff now. So I've only discussed what I've gone through this year in terms of health-wise, a little bit here and there. You know more details, and there's more details than what I talked about. But the video I did the other day about my hernia collapse back in January, that's the first time I've ever come real public with that. Right. So I'm hoping that speaks to some people and they can, you know, they figure out the motivation, right? So same thing with your content.
Yeah, no, and I mean, not to say that I don't appreciate people who like come to my channel for my videos for that specific reason, but the overall point being, in the past 2 years, you know, as my channel has grown, right? The momentum of the iPhone videos and the fact that I could be there as a much smaller channel at the same place where the much larger channels were, and I might end up in suggested with, you know, Marquez or iJustine or John Morrison or anything like that, like in real time when their videos are getting a ton of views, right? That does things for me, not just for views, but for the momentum that then carries me forward. I gain new subscribers, more people are looking at what I'm doing, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm on a roll, and that roll carries through October and then starts to slow down as the holidays come.
That John Prosser guy is in the chat.
I see that.
But is it really him?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is. Let's go back before we go down too far down the
you talk
creator
for a
path here.
second. I gotta answer this call. Hold on.
Phone call?
Yeah, it's my daughter.
Oh. I was gonna say, going back to the is tech too toxic? Absolutely, I think it is, because and I want to say specifically here on YouTube, Twitter is not as bad as it used to be. Check mark, John. Because people are looking for validation. They're looking for the video that says, hey, you're awesome because you bought an iPhone, or you're cool because you bought a Samsung. It sucks that it's so toxic, and we can easily feed into that as creators, as tech reviewers. And I could do a ton of videos if I wanted to right now about don't buy the iPhone and it's a ripoff and you're being led down the wrong path and fire and brimstone and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to, because I'd be irresponsible if I did that. And there's definitely creators out there that do that. But I mean, we have some integrity, I guess.
I missed part of that because I was on
I was just expanding on about how I think the tech community on YouTube, unfortunately, is very toxic, and there are creators that feed into that. But you and I and other and the creators in our circle have some integrity, and we don't seem to go down that path. We have strayed. We absolutely have strayed.
I mean, here's sort of the catch-22 for me. It's like, I have a channel called Painfully Honest Tech. That sort of implies a certain amount of negativity.
And I can't remember. I think it was a Viper stream yesterday. I said, there seems to be this perception that unless you're negative about something, you're not telling the truth. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you have to like have some negatives.
Yeah.
Like you can say a lot of good things about something and still have negatives that you can bring up. Now, where I think it's sometimes a little disingenuous in tech review videos is when basically the reviewer is not saying much at all, and then at the end they say, and it'd be cool if it had this or it had that. I'm thinking of Austin, because he's like one of the worst offenders about in this way.
Viper nailed it right there. I mean, I was going to say the same thing. You can be critical of being overly negative. It's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But there seems to be this perception that unless you're overly negative or very if you bash a product or a brand, that you're not telling the truth. Like, so for example, when I did my Note 10 Plus review, I really meant, you and I talked about this. I really meant, I'm not mad at this. I'm just disappointed.
Right.
Because it hits almost every, but the 1, 2, 3 caveats, the 3 things I'm unhappy about this, I'm okay with.
Right.
I'm not mad.
Well,
I'm just disappointed.
When I made my Note 10 review, like Michael Fisher had the title of Michael Fisher's video, or at least the thumbnail said, Samsung phones in a great phone, or something like that. So
it was clever. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's clever.
Yep.
And my whole thing was like, it's a great phone, but it's also disappointing. And most of the disappointment from my end was like how they sort of sullied the name of the Note line by making the Note 10
and a plus.
Yeah. And honestly, like, taking away the headphone jack. I mean, the Note phone was like the powerhouse that had everything. And so releasing Note phones that don't go by that same philosophy, to me, was incredibly disappointing. It didn't have anything to do with the fact that I thought, yeah, the phone's great. Or at least the Note 10 Plus is great. But man, you would not know that I said anything positive about the phone
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, because of your title and everything. And people went in there and they went nuts on you. And it's like, dude, 9/10 of the video, he's praising it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now people come into the comments on other videos
Mm-hmm.
and still they're like, oh, you're saying this about the note. So I think that
Like
I
my
think
video, my wearable video tonight for this guy right here, the the text on the thumbnail says Apple better watch out. I mean, it's a dad joke, but
yeah,
I'm
it is.
serious because at the price point, this is awesome.
Now
But
you could have spun that a way different way.
I know.
Let's be honest. There is a certain spin. You choose to spin something like not just
Mm-hmm.
you, but when
Yeah.
when you're making a review, when you're making a video,
Mm-hmm.
you can choose to spin things one way or the other. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could easily make a video about the Galaxy Watch that says, you know, it's watching Apple's dust, you know,
The dad jokes.
but just that, you know, the Galaxy Watch and the Samsung watches in general have been nice devices, but they
Yeah.
in no way, shape, or form are they competitive with the Apple Watch.
Well, okay. So what I didn't fully expand on it because it's not a full review. It's just an unboxing tonight. But for the price point, because this was I think this was $400. Let me just double check here. Let me just double check. Watch.
Yeah, but
Samsung watch.
you can get an Apple Watch Series 4.
This watch was $399 Canadian. So I don't know what it is US, but it's probably like 300 or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, I think
For
it's like
that
$299.
price, for what it does so far and the way it looks and everything, like that's a good deal. But
Right.
does it bring the intuitiveness and the functionality that I'm looking for that the Apple Watch most likely will? I'm going to go ahead and say probably no, because I had the Galaxy Watch from last year, and all I see right now is kind of a physical change. But everything is very familiar in here. But if you are on a budget and you have an Android device, if you have a Samsung device,
Right.
I'm already confident in saying this is a good buy.
Yeah.
I'm already confident.
I totally agree with you on that front. I mean, one of the things that I really liked about the Samsung watches was, whereas the iPhone or the Apple Watch was definitely it definitely had its own unique flair. The design was unique. It was a different take on a watch. You know, the Samsung watches were nice pieces of jewelry as well as functional.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's be really clear. If you have an iPhone, don't get this to go with it.
No.
If you can afford an iPhone, I can't believe I'm saying this. If you can afford an iPhone, you can get an Apple Watch. Keep your ecosystems together.
Well, see,
if you have a Samsung or an Android, get this. If you're on a budget, I mean, there are more expensive watches out there.
Well, like, let's see. Tommy James up here a little bit ago asked, "Is the Watch Series 3 worth it at $199?" Hell, yes.
Yes. So you should highlight that on the screen. Yes. Right. I mean, his comment. Right.
That's the thing. Like, oh, I'm tapping it in the wrong place because I have the YouTube.
Why doesn't it work?
But the Series 3 watch at $199,
yeah,
this is what Apple's getting right this year.
Yeah. Let me see what it is Canadian. Keep on talking.
Apple, you know, the Apple Watch Titanium costs like $900, right? But you don't have to buy that. You don't have to buy the $1,000 Apple Watch. You don't even have to buy the $500 Apple Watch. You don't have to buy the latest model. You buy the Series 4, and that's cheaper. And the Series 3, yeah, it doesn't have the heart rate stuff, the ECG stuff, but oh my God,
you can still have the heart rate thing, but not the EK, whatever it's called,
the
right?
ECG, yeah. It's measuring the electricity.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I mean,
like, look, okay, Canadian aluminum, $259. Like, that's amazing. Like you said, $199, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So think about it this way: if you buy an iPhone 11
Mm-hmm.
and an Apple Watch Series 3,
Oh, you're set. You're set.
and you're spending less than $1,000.
That's attractive.
Because I mean, that's everybody's complaint has always been like, oh, you can't get into the Apple ecosystem. You can't get these things. You can't really afford to do this,
Quote
that, or
unquote
the other thing.
Apple tax. People complain about all the time, right?
Well, and the Apple tax still exists, but it's, to quote our Democratic politicians, we're taxing the rich.
I was at the Apple store yesterday for 3 hours. I was like I said, I was upgrading the Max, and the girl across from me was being helped out. She was buying an iPhone 10R. Okay,
right.
So it's like what? It's like
$5.99.
Yeah, so it's like $6.50 Canadian, right? And she looked at me. She's like, "Oh, you got the new Pro?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I don't know if I should get this or get the 11 Pro." I said, "Listen, I use that exact phone." She was buying the blue one.
Right.
I said, I use that exact phone, that exact color for all of this. And I showed her some of my B-roll and everything. And she goes, "That came from this phone?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, I feel so much better about this purchase now." I said, "Yeah,
that's cool.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Hire me, Apple."
No. See, don't let people get to thinking that Apple's hiring people.
Yeah. No. I want to be really clear, because people are like, how come the Series 4 isn't on the Apple website anymore? Now, here's the thing. Apple told everybody to pull it off the website because, again, they want to have that introductory Series 3 and then, the higher end, the 5. Now, if you look at the price difference between the 4 and the 5, it was only like $160, $180, depending on the material build.
Right.
Okay. So if you can find a Series 4 and you want to save that, go for it, I guess. But
I thought they said in the keynote that they were keeping the Series 4.
They might be keeping on support, but it's not on their website. Nowhere to be found. And the only place I found it was a couple of third-party retailers and online. I did find refurbished and open box on Best Buy. But when I compared the price to a brand new 5, I'm like, I might as well spend the extra $200 or save a bundle and get a Series 3.
See, like, I've got a Series 4, and while I certainly would like to have the always on display, because
238 people in here.
Yeah.
Thank you for rocking with us today.
Yeah, thanks very much, folks, for being here. I would love to have the always on display, because that's one thing that kind of bugs me about smartwatches in general. But that to me is like the only new feature.
Yeah. And luckily, it seems like they fixed the battery issue. Our friend John Ruttinger's had some issues with that. He's been very public about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Myself personally, I have not. I'm getting all day plus a bit, but I've only got like 4 complications running on mine, and I really only measure heart or whatever it is like once or twice a day. But I really like for the reminders, like, breathe, stand, sit, that kind of stuff, right? So I haven't really started like doing workouts or anything like that. So we'll see. But I'm happy with the battery life on the Series 5 so far.
Yeah, I do I don't do a good job of doing it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like my watch face for my Apple Watch is the rings.
Highlight that. Ace, thank you. $2. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you, Ace. So I have just the rings and the time on my watch face, right? Mm-hmm. And I do that because I want to get to the place where I'm closing the rings on a regular basis. And
I closed mine the last 2 days. I feel good about that.
Yeah, but I also feel like sometimes it's like the Apple Watch becomes that that nagging parent. Leave me alone.
Was that in the commercial for the Series 5?
I don't know.
There was a lady saying it's constantly bugging you. It's constantly bugging you, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's the point, right?
Yeah, but it's
my stand ring never closes. BMax says, stand out more, buddy.
See, I can usually get my stand ring pretty easily.
Well, you got a standing desk now, right?
Well, but
I love having a standing desk. I'm going to say
I
this
just
really quick.
moved away from my standing desk today. Okay. I never used it as a standing
everybody, desk. If you have the opportunity or the chance to get a standing desk, I'm not going to tell you who you should use, Anthrodesk, but if you have the chance to use anybody and get a standing desk, you'll love it. But if you do it, get yourself the mat that makes you kind of move around and everything, so you get the circulation going on your feet. Good. It's really good for you. Yeah, get a standing desk. You'll love it. Here we go. So
See,
I'm actually at my standing desk right now. And when
I've
I go
got
to
too much shit.
when I go to film, I put it up like this. And then bye.
See, what ended up happening for me is that I had the Anthrodesk standing desk.
Mhm.
But I have so much stuff that needs to be at my desk that, like, so my monitors were on stands, and I had my my audio monitors, my my video monitor was mounted to the wall. I
Is this distracting?
no, not at all.
All right, talk.
So I never used it as a standing desk. And then my desk was 96 inches long, which seems like it's a really good idea.
That's a good length.
But it's not, because you really still just use like this like 50 or so inch space right around where you are, and then you've just got like all this other desk. It's like way out there. So I went out yesterday, like I'd been wanting to get something. I was thinking about either building something or getting something that I could mount my audio gear in the way that it's supposed to be mounted. I could like organize the desk a little bit more, so I just didn't have crap all over the place.
This is 70. This is 76 long.
I got a 46-inch desk, and it's surprisingly appropriate.
I wish I had a puppet.
A puppet?
Never mind. We'll do something next week.
Anyway, yeah, but right now I'm sitting at this thing, and it's like everything's right in front of me. There's, nothing is sort of not where it's supposed to be, and it's a really good feeling.
Yeah.
So like I'm not using my standing desk anymore. I don't have anywhere to put it. It's a 96-inch long desk. Where the hell am I going to put that in my house? I don't know. I just don't know. So anyway, we were talking about toxicity, and I wanted to get back to something that I've noticed.
Okay, what did you notice?
And Bina kind of had some comments earlier on about the actual comments. And part of the problem,
they're pretty bad. I mean, people are just like, they're mean. They're like, bleh.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, I get it. People, they're behind their keyboards. They can't see. You can't see them. They're not running the risk of being punched in the face if they say whatever they want.
They're keyboard warriors.
So they do that. But as the creator, man, it gets so disheartening after a certain point to just see that people have like willfully chosen not to listen to what is being said, just so that they can make that comment. And comments bother me a good bit on some level, but not like, oh geez, people don't like me, because of course
nobody reads past the headline. They're reading your title, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the negative comments in the sense that like I've caused somebody to be upset, right? What frustrates me the most is the whole like I'd be fine if you were actually making a negative comment about something that was pertinent to the video. But you're making a negative comment that tells me that you have not watched it at all.
Yeah.
And that's
those are the people you just say hide from channel and you move on.
Well, yeah, and the thing is like I'm thinking about this negative, toxic YouTube tech community. And there are some channels that are more critical than others. There are some channels that try and like tweak people a little bit more than others. But I don't really think that there are a ton of like purely, honestly, like straight up negative channels, like tech channels out there. The only one
No,
that
I wouldn't say they're like pure negative.
the only one that I would say is negative is Lewis Rossman. I mean,
Lewis, he just seems like a angry person.
he's. I mean,
I like his stuff. I like what he brings and everything, but I can't remember the last time I watched it. I went, when was he not complaining? When does he not complain?
yeah. I mean, he's a New Yorker, and you can tell that he's got like the lifelong New Yorker misery.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and I've known people like that, and I've seen people like that. But I mean, most of those people are miserable just in the course of their daily lives. They don't go out of their way to make like 40-minute long videos being miserable.
Yeah.
And that to me is pointless.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Apple. Yeah, we got the message. Apple sucks. Sorry, they did something
Right to
that made
repair.
you mad.
Right to repair.
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
yeah. Would it be nice if those kinds of things? Yeah, it's great to have the conversation about right to repair. It's great to have the conversation about, you know, the shadier practices, et cetera, et cetera. But man, when that becomes your life, when that's your entire YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, he may also be playing to the algorithm because that's what helped take things off. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just like, and that's part of what started to get to me when this phone season was swinging back around. Is like, oh my God, you know, I don't want to turn back around and be like, you know, and just feel like I have to be negative in order to get the algorithm to like carry my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like, it was like, I felt very stuck this year.
Well, the algorithm and the way that YouTube serves content, right now it's very search based. I'm not saying that suggested doesn't happen because it's obviously there. It's hard to repeat last year because of all those changes. I mean, look at YouTube, and they got in trouble with the FTC over the whole kid thing, right? They got the fines there.
Yep.
And if you guys think of that's the end of it, there's more coming next year. I guarantee you. And I've talked about this before. And yes, I will continue to be a Boy Scout.
Good night, Mike. Thanks for being here, man.
Yes. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. It just the YouTube. It can't. If they want to get back the advertisers and they want to get back and really competing with traditional media and everything like that. Not that they ever lost footing. I think I watch more YouTube than anything else. I think the majority of people here probably do. You know, YouTube had to make those changes, and they have to cater the algorithm. Like you never hear about. Like I think even John said this. You never hear about users complaining about the algorithm. Can you highlight that, 20?
Yeah, LeBaron, thank you, man. Got to talk about this bogus super chat tax. It's a ripoff. Yeah.
We've talked about this before, and I think 30% is fair because we are given this platform that billions and billions and billions of people watch, and we can upload to free too, and they give us a cut of money. I understand where LeBaron's coming from. I understand that. But I in agreement, and I think the 30% is fine. It sucks.
Well,
it sucks, but yeah.
What's really sort of onerous about it is that it takes away from the creator.
It does.
And if you go over to Twitch and you look at bits and how that whole thing works, the viewer buys bits, right? And Twitch is getting their cut from that transaction. So that when the viewer then goes and gives bits to somebody that they're watching that they like, that person doesn't lose anything. That creator doesn't lose any money. So YouTube is taxing the creator when it could decide that, like, you know, you get tokens or whatever you want to call it, and so 50 tokens is $55 or whatever, and so, you know, people would make their decisions about what they gave or didn't give based on what it was going to cost them, just like they do now. But it wouldn't come out of the pocket of the creator. I mean, this is the same thing with memberships. The channel memberships thing is a 30% slice.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is pretty hefty as well. Because here's the thing. If I'm in partnership with a business, if if I have a manager, if I have somebody who's booking gigs for me or whatever, like, I'm not paying them any more than 20%. And I don't think it's fair for them to ask for more than 20%.
Yeah. The thing is, I just look at it like, we have the platform, we can do so much with it. In terms of our niche, we have a lot of flexibility. And I understand where 504 is coming from. I understand where Sean's coming from. I understand where BMAX coming from. I mean, if let's say it was 20%, you'd be complaining and saying, "Oh, well, I wish it was 15."
No,
I wish it was 10.
No, because like I said, there are analogs in the regular world, in regular business places, in the way things that are done. There are analogs in those spaces where that kind of practice is accepted. It's normalized and it's what's expected, right? So it's whenever YouTube decides, see, now I know what you're saying in terms of the fact that, like, yeah, we got this platform, it's great, everything like that. I mean, the platform exists because we exist.
Yep. And I agree.
So there should be a certain amount of, like, okay, we're grateful to YouTube for, like, hosting our videos for free forever. Yes. However, that doesn't mean that YouTube, if they do in fact want to give creators more opportunities to diversify their income and to be more solvent in different ways, then they could choose to be more reasonable in how they took their percentages. But it's like YouTube is like a coal mining company, right? You need the job at the coal mine, and so until you shop at the company store and pay 10 times as much as what a can of beans is worth, because that's all you can do.
LeBaron, they don't take ad revenue, they share with us, and that we're not entitled to anything.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they take, so is it 45% that they?
Yeah, something like that. But the thing is, we're not entitled to anything.
And, well, I don't agree with that statement. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Here's the thing. We are entitled to it if for only that we create the content that gives YouTube the opportunity to sell ads, right? And so when you look at something like selling ads, there's a lot more to selling ads than just paying the creator, right? You've got your sales team, you've got all the stuff that comes before and after that. And so when I look at a 45-55 split on ad revenue, I'm like, okay, because they own all the means of production except for what I can bring to the platform, right? So 50-50 is good. But I don't think they have to be they don't have to be quite as onerous in the percentages that they take from the money that the opportunities they say that they are giving us to make more money and be more solvent. At any rate, I just think that you can look in the regular real world and find things that are analogous to what YouTube's doing.
Yeah, I don't
typically those things are not as expensive as what YouTube is doing.
I don't disagree with you or the other creators or tubers in the chat here. I guess I just see both sides, and I don't necessarily support the YouTube side. Okay, so if it was a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd probably be like, why are they taking our money? But now I see it from a different angle, right? mean,
Yeah. I mean, so I come to this after having been under contracts as a musician, been under
Mhm.
contracts and created contracts as a professional. I've worked with these kind of contracts and contractual splits since 1990.
Mhm.
And so I feel pretty confident in my own self when I'm looking at this to say like that's a little bit egregious, but there is nothing I can do
I
about
mean,
it.
for all we know, let's say YouTube gets other big ad companies up back on board. I mean, they may cut it someday. I doubt it, but I mean, we never know. Did you see the recent? There's a creator chat recently where they acknowledged and they said and they've been working on this for a while apparently, that they're now going to start pairing up, like maybe not safe for work advertisers or kind of edgy. They said edgy with those type of channels. So the yellow, not suitable for advertisers, that may go away for a lot of those type of channels. That's cool, right? That makes sense. Put those edgy type companies, like maybe like a D brand or something like that, for example. I'm just
Right.
trying to think of edgy, right? With that channel that maybe drops an F bomb once in a while or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first I want to look at Jeremy's comment here.
sure.
Uh, it's a very interesting, like that's offering sort of well, I don't know if we could do uncompressed because that's just huge numbers of gigabytes, but doing something that's like at a different kind of compression that offers higher quality. Yeah, I think that would be an interesting thing to do. So people could like choose to have their special videos
Mm-hmm.
that way. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But and that would be a way that YouTube could very very easily say we want an extra $5 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
extra $5
Well, I
for
mean, there's
this.
other ways, and we're not going to completely go down this rabbit hole, but there are plenty of ways for creators to monetize and make money if they want to do this full time. I recently did a thing with Ballistic. You've done things with other companies and everything like that, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's easy to. I shouldn't say it's easy. That's the wrong word. It's convenient as creators to do our creative thing, do all the steps, make the thumbnail to promote, and then sit back. I shouldn't say sit back. It's like I said, it's convenient, and then just wait for the AdSense.
yeah, but I mean, you know as well as I do that nothing about any of that is easy.
No,
Nothing
and
about
yeah, that's why I didn't use it. Like I said, it's convenient to not go out and look for those opportunities, or maybe pitch your channel or your value or your social media so that you can
well,
get those opportunities.
I don't think that anybody who's serious about this doesn't do that on some level or
There
another. A
are
lot of
I'm not talking about our niche, but there are plenty of creators of
well,
all
there's at least one person in our
that
niche who doesn't.
oh yeah, that all the oh my god, my ad revenue. Dude, why aren't you doing more than just ad revenue?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. I mean, it's
Like you're lucky you're even getting that. I've gone in with the mentality for the last year and a half of ad revenue is a tip jar.
yeah. And honestly, like I look forward to the day that I get there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have definitely I have definitely expanded my revenue streams, but there's still a lot of other stuff
Mm-hmm.
that I could be doing. However, I mean, to get back to the percentages, like, okay, so my manager negotiates a deal with X company for me to do a 60-second ad roll, right?
Yeah.
And he takes 10% or 15%, depending on what the deal is.
Okay.
That to me is a right sized portion. Because he's got many clients
Mhm.
and he's doing many deals, so that money adds up for him. So that's why when I look at like that's when I look at like 30% and I say that's a lot.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, because if YouTube was saying like, we're providing this service, um I don't know. At the end of the day, you can't really you can complain about it, but there's nothing you can do. Again, like I say, it's like
Mhm.
working for a coal mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Let
get what they give you.
Yeah. Let's put that to rest and let's go because we've been at this for an hour and a half. I think we've made up our time. I want to wrap up things here. I think you do as well. And for the people that are here, 237 of you, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's come back around. So, give me your best summary of is the Pixel 4 DOA? Go.
Uh if it's anywhere over $800, yes.
Okay. So we're talking about price point. Okay. I agree with you. Completely agree. It's going to come down to price point with them to really get people to go, hey, I'll get that. OnePlus 7T. Do you think that's going to be successful?
Well, successful for OnePlus in the United States is way different than success for Google.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a nascent market for OnePlus,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that they're getting any phones out there is better than like everybody had to like order them by mail.
Gotcha.
So I think that at $599, the OnePlus 7T is is going to be a really good phone for a very decent price.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that to me is good.
Here's a question for you. TT Kelly asked, do you think the Galaxy Fold has a chance, Jason? Now that it's out, our friend Brandon at This Is Tech Today got it.
A
Yeah,
chance to do what?
I don't know.
a
Like,
chance a chance to like last for more than 2 weeks before it breaks again.
I mean, if your thumbnail breaks the screen, good lord,
I
right? I mean, I don't have nails. I mean, I'm a guy. I file these things down, but I mean, I don't file. I cut them. But you know what I mean?
well, here's the thing. Like I think that the Galaxy Fold. I mean, I think that anybody who buys it right now is not buying it because it's a phone they're going to use.
I don't think Brand's going to keep it. I think he's going to. I mean, I don't care if he's in his back regardless, but I just have a hard time seeing him keep it.
Yeah, I mean anybody who buys the Fold right now is doing it because they love the tech.
Yeah,
and maybe they get off on being able to like
I'll
dangle
I'll
the thing out there and say
yeah.
I've got this, right?
I'll grab a second. I'll probably grab a third generation. But like now, I mean, did you see all the warnings it comes with? Don't do this. Don't look that. Don't look at it past midnight. Don't feed it after midnight. I mean, it's like a gremlin.
Yeah. No, I mean, I started to watch Jerry Rig Everything's sort of first video where he was testing the durability, and he put a bunch of sand
Sanded
in
it.
and then like
Yeah,
it was a lot of sand, but
it was.
still like the sound of the gears inside as he tried to open and close it, like it was so uncomfortable, and it proved to me so beyond a doubt that
Scratches at 5 with complete destroying at sand level.
scratches at a level 3 completely destroyed at a level 5.
Level 5,
It's like, but I mean, at that point I realized that, yes, is that an extreme test? Of course it is.
Of course it is.
However, if that'll happen with just like, put some sand in there, close it one time, and then like the whole thing becomes non-functional.
Yeah.
Because the sand got inside the phone, then
crazy.
it's like like at that point I'm just like, this is not for the regular person.
You know what my favorite part of his videos are? Zach's the Jerry Grove thing. When he takes the knife and goes down the edge like the metal, that sound. I love that sound. I love it. I turn up the volume. I'm like, I love that.
I hate that.
I love it.
I hate that. Yeah, there are so many things that he does to the phone in those durability tests that I'm like,
You were with him at the Samsung thing in February, and he's like,
yeah.
nobody ever sends me a phone. I buy them all. That's commitment, man.
But that, I mean, think about how much money he's making.
I know.
Like,
he's getting the views. Like, don't tell me. Everybody in this chat, everybody here looks forward to his videos because they want to see him destroy these phones. And you know what? They have a legitimate purpose, especially the Ben part. I mean,
although the Ben thing is getting it's getting to be less of an issue.
no, I mean, like he tried doing the latest iPhones. I think the Pro and even the 11, and there was like next to no flex, nothing.
Yeah.
Like those are strong freaking devices.
Yeah. And I mean that goes back to like Lou's video about tech, right? Like he was saying that like there was a time when there was stuff that was really bad, and it was like it seems like it was just yesterday that you could be up in arms about something a very significant issue with a phone or another device and be like,
now it's so incremental.
And now it's really hard to like get crazy upset about, you know, even stuff like it's like the Note 10's a great phone.
Yeah.
But they took away the headphone jack. I mean, that's really
and I think as a consumer, as a user, you have to go, okay, how often do I use the headphone jack? Think about, like, that's what I did for the last year. And I really only ever used it when I was on an airplane. Okay. Now, if you're a creator or someone who just prefers plugged in, you know, that's not going to be a device for you. So move on and look at an LG or something like that.
I mean, right? I honestly think that, okay, real talk.
Okay. Real talk. Okay. Real talk.
Real talk. It's not the fact that the headphone jack is like so useful that it needs to be there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's not the fact that like 80% of maybe even 90% of the time I use wireless headphones when connected to my phone. Right.
Okay. Yep.
What bothers me about it is the scam of it.
What do you mean? Like the forcing you into wireless?
Yeah.
You thank Apple for that.
It was a total scam. I mean, yes, it was Apple's scam. And that was one of the things that really ticked me off. Mm-hmm. Apple like sold us a bill of goods about the headphone jack.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the most transparent, like, oh my God, it's just, we have courage. We take it away, this outdated port from 1910. It's like, that's not the same thing, A, you jackass. And B, like, I still think that the percentage of people who use wired headphones is still much higher than the percentage of people who use wireless. And
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I know I saw a number like a year or so ago, and I don't remember what that number is, and it's probably not accurate at this point anyway. But the number of people who use wireless headphones is not as widespread as what everybody thinks.
I went to a hockey game preseason on Saturday. So we took the transit down there, had the hop trains, and I purposely made a note. I didn't put it on my note, but I made a mental note. I started counting around the car, like how many iPhones or Androids I saw, and the people, every person that I saw with something in their ear was wired. Everybody was wired. Okay, either with an adapter into their new iPhone or into some sort of Android, like a 2 or 3 year old Android, maybe like an S5 or S6,
right,
or a Galaxy S7. So a couple of S8s, and they were all plugged in. Now, keep in mind, this is, my city, Canada, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Like, it's completely different here. I mean, I know, for example, if you go to New York City, everybody's walking around with AirPods.
Or it seems like it.
It seems like it. I saw, for the first time ever, my first meme walking past the Starbucks. Guy was outside, this before we got the snow. Guy's outside on his MacBook with AirPods in his ear with his latte right there. I'm like, oh my God. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Sounds like a great way to start a morning.
It's like, It was right next to a new steak place that's going into it. I can't wait to go try it. But I'm like, this is the first time I've ever seen that. Like you always picture like people like in movies, they're on their MacBook and they're at the Starbucks. They got the AirPods in the ear. This is the first time I ever saw it in real life.
Right.
It was crazy. It was crazy. I should have taken a picture.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in New York for the Samsung thing, I went to the Starbucks that's down on. I mean, it doesn't look like the same place anymore, but right down there on like where Cooper Union College is, and walking in there, the entire store was a cliche. Like every single person that was in there.
Details. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's like if you look, the person who's using a PC is clearly like someone who works in business. The person using a MacBook is clearly either a college student or like they fancy themselves
totally
some sort of artsy person, and of course the MacBook is like beaten half to death, and et cetera.
The people at the Starbucks I go close by me, they never have new MacBooks in there. They're the older ones with like the USB-A ports in them and everything. So I look over, with my iPad, and I'm just like, damn, that thing's big.
Yeah, I rarely see new MacBooks.
Yeah, I don't. Even when I go to the university, like to pick up my sister and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I see a lot of students I see a lot of Chromebooks. But the MacBooks I see for the most part are usually like the old ones, like that had like the USB-A and the HDMI and all that kind of stuff, right? So
right. Yeah. I mean, so when I worked at the university, it was probably like 80% of everybody had a MacBook or a MacBook Air or something like that, and then there was a decent percentage of people who got Surface Pros.
I've never seen a Surface in the wild.
Yeah, well, so the deal with the medical school is you have to buy a computer that you have to have a computer that has like whatever specs necessary to be able to do the testing. They take their tests on their computers.
Good night, LeBaron.
LeBaron, see you later, man. Thank you. So like a lot of people bought Surface Pros because they were smaller, they were slightly cheaper, they seemed to be on a similar level in terms of build quality, et cetera, et cetera. But the majority of people came to regret that decision.
Yeah,
because the quality control with unfortunately all the Microsoft hardware is not as good as it needs to be.
I had a first generation Surface when I worked for the distributor up here. They gave it to me, and it was great for like 6 months, and then it just slow. And they're like, "Well, you switched to a MacBook now." I'm like, "Yeah, set me up." So I got my first MacBook. It was 13-inch refurbished unit. Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Microsoft hardware, and there's going to be a big Microsoft event tomorrow. There, who knows?
Is it tomorrow? I thought it was Friday.
Well, I think I saw a tweet that said tomorrow, but I didn't.
Can somebody confirm in the chat? Is the Microsoft thing tomorrow? Please let us know.
I think they're usually on Wednesdays, but okay. I could be wrong.
Is it Wednesday tomorrow?
Yeah, all day.
Ever since I got into this whole grind thing, like I'm like pacing myself good this time. I'm losing track of days. Like seriously.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think my parents are coming over tomorrow.
That'll be nice.
I better clean my room.
It's
better clean the office. My dad will walk in here and go, "What is all this? Let's play some Mortal Kombat." Okay, Dad, let's play some Mortal Kombat.
If they do release like a new Surface Book, I'm gonna have to keep like telling myself, you've bought 4 of these and they all got some kind of problem.
Yeah, I don't remember you ever having a good experience.
But I bought 4 of them.
Yeah. And did you return that Razer laptop?
Yeah.
Did you like it other than, I guess, the audio issues?
I did. Yeah. I got to show you this.
Oh, what is that?
See that dent?
Oh no! What did you do to your MacBook?
Uh, I had it sitting on my desk closed. This was
Show
like
that closely so you can trigger all the Mac people.
so.
Show the dent. Oh my god, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and the worst part of it is it cracked the screen inside too.
What did you do? What were you doing?
This was a couple of weeks ago. I was moving some stuff around in the studio, and a speaker. The MacBook was sitting on the desk closed, and a speaker fell off
Oh no!
and landed, obviously, like on a corner on the MacBook.
So your speaker took out the MacBook,
I mean, it still works fine.
except for the crack.
It's like two like inch long sort of like fissures.
How old is that MacBook?
Uh, not very old.
Do you have Apple Care?
No.
You didn't get Apple Care. You didn't get Apple Care.
No,
you could take it in if you got Apple Care.
Here's the question: how long do you have to buy Apple Care?
You have to buy it at the time of purchase. I think.
No.
Hold on. I think in Canada, because our rules are different up here, you have 14 days from the time of purchase. I don't know what it is in the United States, but my understanding is you have to buy it at the time of. You didn't. Oh my god!
I never buy Apple Care. Never. And I'll tell you why. I bought Apple Care one time for an iMac. I kept that iMac for the 3 years that Apple Care was good for or whatever. Never had a problem. And so at that point I'm like, yeah, I just wasted $300 or whatever that was.
You just maybe use my good morning voice.
So 30 days to purchase Apple Care. Yeah,
So,
I mean,
has it been over 30 days?
Yeah, of course.
Oof.
But I mean, honestly, like I scratched the screen on my last MacBook Pro as well. And see, this will be the thing that keeps me from selling it. Like it's totally out of the running for that. So,
well, yeah, nobody wants to buy that crap.
yeah, so I keep it, I use it, which is what I should be doing. So I'm like off the hook.
All right.
Wow. I'm off the hook. But yeah, it bummed me out, man. This has just been a week of like a series of the last 2 weeks, just a series of like, all right, what crap can go wrong now?
Was that Alexa?
No,
or was it Siri?
Siri, shut up.
She's drunk.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I turned off Siri on my. I haven't tried her yet on my iPhone, and it's just I just like Google. So you know what's interesting? How come I can't send a super chat?
I don't know.
Interesting. Oh, you know what? Because I have the chat popped out. It won't let you do a super chat if it's popped out. Very interesting.
So Septian says I'm an idiot because I didn't buy Apple Care. You know what? The number of Apple devices that I have, I would have like several Apple devices worth of money put into Apple Care.
I just like the idea that, like the girl, because I was at the Apple store yesterday, she's buying the 10R, right? Apple Care for 2 years was like $100, and she looked at me and she's like, "Is it worth it?" Like it was kind of funny because you got the Apple guy, like they don't work on commission, but she's like looking at this, like I'm just sitting there waiting for it.
They don't work on commission, but they do work.
They get bonuses and everything.
Well, I mean, their bosses are looking.
I know. So the guy's standing there. He's telling her about it, and she looks over at me, the nerd. I'm sitting there waiting for the iCloud to update this thing, and I'm on my Android. Ironically, this is just sitting there. She goes, "She get it?" I'm like, for $100. I said, "I think it's worth it." She goes, "I said, listen, I could take my phone right now and I could whip it across the room at that screen. I'd have to pay for the screen, the big screen they're here in the Apple store, but I wouldn't have to pay for the repairs of this." She goes, "That's a good point. I'm going to get it." I mean, that's how I used to sell, right? And just make it simple, right? For $100.
So now, like, okay, so here's Apple Care that I could still get on this phone, right? Apple Care Plus.
It's all called Apple Care Plus, yeah.
Well, no, there's two things here.
What? There's two different ones?
Yeah, Apple Care Plus, $200 or $9.99 a month. Now, if
A month?
Yeah.
What?
If I had
It's a one-time cost.
read it.
Okay, go. Sorry, go on. I mean, I paid $200 for mine on this for 2 years. I mean, I guess the rules are different up here in Canada, but yeah.
So anyway, $9.99 a month. Now, if when I bought this MacBook, it had given me an option to pay monthly, I probably would have done it.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it costs for a $2,800 MacBook Pro to get Apple Care, it's like, yeah, $2,800 is a lot of money to come up with in the first place.
Tim R says you can do monthly. I didn't know that. Here in Canada, I either add it on for a one-time cost, depending on what the device is and the cost, and you're covered. There's no monthly. I've never seen a monthly option when I buy directly from Apple Canada. So
yeah, it must have been like really recently new.
yeah, that's yeah. I don't think you can do monthly in Canada, Juno says, because when I bought my iPhones and everything this year, I didn't see monthly.
Yeah. This was the first time it's the first time that I saw them like actually send me a give me a little like notification thing that was trying to sell me Apple Care. Usually it's like
Scott says it's new as of the iPhone keynote. So that must be a US thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you dented your MacBook.
I did.
How do you feel?
It bums me out, but what the heck am I gonna?
Did you scream? Did you swear?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah.
No, I mean I was just like, fuck.
Demonetized. Man, we almost made it the whole stream without a swear.
They're not listening at this point. We've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes.
Fuck yeah.
So, although it's interesting, our boy Gameski, who just very conveniently popped up this
I love Gameski. Love his stuff.
Well, we were talking about stuff earlier today, and one thing is like, has something changed on YouTube when it comes to negativity? Of course, there's always been like sort of a no policy about swearing and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like in terms of like whether or not YouTube, like, so because
we learned last year at Vid Summit that the algorithm is like reading and hearing everything, but apparently if you swear only occasionally and after the 2-minute mark, it doesn't ding you as hard as if you open up like F yeah, you beautiful bastards, right?
Well, the interesting question is, and so I think this is something that maybe in light of the family vlog stuff and all that kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
Is it possible that because the comments in my videos are so negative, I mean,
there's been no direct correlation.
Well, it's interesting because like, yeah, I don't know. I also got like this weird community guidelines warning.
What?
I got a community guidelines warning on the 23rd.
For what? Was it a specific video?
I had just uploaded my 72 hours iPhone video.
Okay. Was it that video?
Yeah.
What was wrong with it?
Before I even published it.
What was wrong with it?
I accidentally spelled youtube.com YOUTIBE. Like I just mistyped it.
Oh, okay.
And so they're like, you violated community guidelines with this thing. It's a warning if it happens again. But I went back to the video. I changed it. I published it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Did that warning go away?
No, it's still sitting on my dashboard.
Really?
And so I'm like, and it was on the 23rd. And the 23rd is the time when, like, after the 23rd was when views and stuff were starting to like not look good. And I don't know if there's any correlation between that.
I think it's just a coincidence. I think you're looking into it a little too hard.
No. I'm looking for reasons because like, yeah, like just anything that could be out of the ordinary about my channel that could. I mean, I sent it to my manager to have him look at it, but still, like, it's just like, yeah, tech for your needs. It's been a rough couple of weeks in terms of just like one thing after the other. At least I haven't had any floods.
Don't say that. You have to knock on wood. You got some wood around there?
I just did.
All right, cool.
But yeah, it's been really a strange week.
Yeah.
Difficult because, like, I mean, the most.
Can you show us the warning? Can you show us the email? Is there too much personal information in there? Viper's asking, wait, explain the community warning again, please.
Hold on. I know I have it.
You do it in the chat. You do it. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Gino smells like broccoli.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen here.
Does broccoli have a smell?
Oh my god, broccoli is the worst smelling vegetable ever.
I love broccoli, like steamed broccoli.
I like uncooked broccoli.
Like raw, like
broccoli, it smells like garbage. I mean, literally like garbage.
No, it smells terrific.
Where did we go?
I'm gonna fight you on this.
Hello?
Hey. Did you find the screen? I need to smell worse than anything, BMax says. Was that you or me? Jason? Oh no, he's frozen. Let it go. Let it go. I thought he was just staring intently. Nope. Well, folks, I guess we will I guess we'll have to wait for Jason to get back. He left the broadcast. Oh, he totally left. Oh no, I'm on my own. Oh no, I'm on my own. What am I gonna talk about? Hey, check it out. Street Fighter, right there. I got the Mortal Kombat one the other day, and I'm gonna be putting it there, right next to it. So, yeah. You know what, BMac? I'm gonna find some puppets. I'm gonna do that next week. You guys just wait. I don't know how to, I'm not. I had this conversation with Roberto. I'm like, am I a good host or am I a better guest? He's like, you're a better guest. Don't ever host again. So yeah, that's why I don't do this, because I'm not good at it. So I think Jason. I wonder if Jason's did his internet die? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if he messaged me. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. So he just messaged me. Internet went down. Let me ask him here. End of show then. Hold on. He's just I think after the host isn't here for so long, the stream just ends, guys. So I just asked him, end of show then? He's read the message. Man, he just can't catch a break. Hey, BMac. Oh man. Hey, listen. While all you cool people are still here, 222 of you, do me a big favor. I'm just gonna milk this. Make sure you guys go watch my video from today. Links in the chat. That's today's video. Go watch that. If you're not subscribed to me, you should be. I think we're done, everybody. Should I end it? I think I think Jason's trying to Fire things. Oh, he's typing back. He's typing back. He's typing back. Let's see what he says here. He's typing back. He's typing back. It's got the little dancing dots here. He's typing. He's typing something long. Let me see if it comes back after I cycle the modem. Okay, so everybody hang out. So I'm going to take some of your questions. We're going to take some of your questions here. Okay, here we go. So Zach did it. All right, great. He's okay. I can't highlight anybody because I'm just a guest here. I'm not in complete control, but just like while the stream's still live, Jason's horrible, terrible, horrible, no good. A couple of, yeah, Jason's had a rough few weeks, so make sure you guys show him some love when you can. 225 people watching. Yeah, I'm showing 212. Londoner says, so I missed the show. Did you all admit you were wrong about the Fold coming out? What are we supposed to admit? It's a terribly fragile device. I mean, it's cool. Folding screen is cool. I will fully admit that. I still have a hard time understanding the use case for myself personally, because you can't do anything with it without unfolding it. Yes, you can answer phone calls and probably do a little bit of texting, but it has a horrible bezel going around, and just looking at it wrong will break it. Let's be real here. Tech for Your Needs says, what is the worst tech you have ever owned? Worst tech, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Actually, I never said it wouldn't come out. Jason felt it probably wouldn't come out, but he was wrong, and he admitted that. Tommy James says, do you know when the Deep Fusion camera update is coming to the iPhone 11? The keynote looks sick. I do not know. I know as much as you. Game phones, yay or no? Gaming phones are cool. Like the ROG phone from Asus. The ROG. Hey, what are you doing in my stream? What are you... I'm answering questions here with people.
I'm back.
You're back.
I had to reboot my my modem.
Turn it off and turn it back on. Man, I was on a roll answering questions. I'm a terrible host.
That's okay.
I found out very quickly as soon as you disappeared. I was just like,
not easy.
There are so many great little bits of video from tonight that you and I can cut up and just put all over Twitter that people are just gonna howl at and be like, "Yeah, I got to be there next week." I'm serious.
I'm
gonna steal some stuff just so you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on Twitter to promote us. Okay. And you know what? Next week, you and I will connect 15 minutes before, so we don't have any issues.
I was in here 15 minutes before.
You know what? I was busy creating and putting up video.
Oh, well. Isn't that nice for
you?
Right.
So are we catching our second wind here? Are we going to keep on going?
I don't know if I can go like too much longer, just because I'm...
Okay, let's do something. We haven't done this for a while, because we haven't done this for a while. Name a show and a movie on Netflix that people should watch right now. It could be older and newer. So show and a movie, Netflix suggestion, go.
Okay, so it's been slim pickings for shows on Netflix, unfortunately. But I did start watching last night. No Comcast. I have Mediacom. They almost kicked me off. They almost revoked my service, but that's another story. Anyway,
before you start, do you want to do Held for Review, or would that make you depressed?
I don't want to do Held for Review. Okay,
we're sorry, Gino says Held for Review. It's got to be when Jason's like a hyper. Like
I've got to feel like I'm not ready to shoot myself in the face.
Yeah, no, okay.
So,
all right, back up. Netflix, go.
But I just watched this thing. Wait, I gotta get the name right. So let me sign into my Netflix. It's a little docu-series.
Okay.
And it's based in Canada.
Oh yeah, all the good stuff, eh?
In Nova Scotia. Have
you seen Super Troopers 2?
No.
It takes place in Canada. It's so ridiculous. It's not as good as the first one, but it's funny.
The Curse of Oak Island.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That's like a regular series up here, like on like Space Channel or something like that, I think.
Yeah, so I started watching it last night. I watched like 4 episodes, and it's basically these guys. I I'm going to assume that they're wealthy,
Uh-huh.
but they have for years been trying to find this treasure that's supposedly hidden underneath this small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, right?
Okay.
And it's been something that people have been trying to find um for hundreds of years, and
Hmm.
it's uh it I guess there's some they think like, oh, maybe it was the Knights Templar, or maybe it was like this, that, the other thing. um it's just like that stuff is interesting to me. So
Okay, so I got one for you. This is
all right.
kind. Do you remember the series of movies or shorts back in the day called Heavy Metal?
Yep.
There is a series. They're all independent little shorts. I came across this completely by accident. It's TVMA. It's called Love, Death plus Robots. Love, Death plus Robots.
Yeah, I remember when that came out.
Majority of it's animated, but it's really good. Love,
Yeah,
Death plus Robots.
I remember I remember that came out, but
It's really good. Like and like all this, I've watched all of them. I think there's like 9 episodes, and they're all really good. Um, and they're just like they're just like little shorts. I don't know how else to describe it. It says, "Oh, can they read the overview?" Like there's, yeah, details like creator Tim Miller, cast. I mean, look, there's some big names in here for cast. But yeah, Love, Death plus Robots. Look that up. Yeah, that's really cool. Now, for television shows, I've been watching Fresh Prince lately. Love Fresh Prince. Grew up on Fresh Prince. Funny stuff. I'm going
I
through it
don't
with my
know.
wife because she never watched it, so she's howling, and I'm just like, "Oh, I've seen this one."
Yeah, I don't know. I never watched the I never watched
Like,
that.
what else is under continue watching? I tried okay, I'm gonna trigger a lot of people with this. I tried watching The Office. I went through 2.5 seasons for first season, second season, part of 3, and I couldn't get into it. I did not enjoy it. I found it unfunny and annoying. The Office sucks.
Well, no, it doesn't. Um, you did not enjoy The Office, but that's what we call a subjective opinion. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, objectively, the Office was quite successful and won a bunch of awards and all those kinds of things. However, I will admit that the whole premise of The Office, like the cringe premise of The Office, um, can like okay. I watched the original series first
I'm just looking at the comments.
with
Sorry, go
Ricky
ahead.
Gervais.
Okay, the British one was funny.
That one made me even more uncomfortable. That one
Really?
was even more
It
cringe.
might be a Canadian thing, or maybe it's just my head. But I didn't I enjoyed the UK, the British one, more than, and I like Steve Carell. I like all those guys. Everybody that's on that show. I'm like, I like this guy, I like this guy. I liked all of them. But I'm just sitting there going, "Eh, what? Like,
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
I don't know what's wrong with you, but you know, I mean, I guess we all have our blind spots.
Okay, good movie for everybody to watch. Here we go.
Good
Bruce
movie
Willis.
for everybody to watch. Bruce
Bruce
Willis.
Willis.
Okay, that's an auspicious
Okay.
start.
The movie is called The Jackal.
The Jackal.
The Jackal.
Okay.
Watch it. Okay, so it's a movie based on a true story. This assassin, he can change how he looks and da 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 da. And Bruce Willis plays that character, and a lot of it has to do with Canada and everything like that. But the guy, he builds a gun and everything like that, and it's an assassin. It's got Richard Gere doing a really bad Irish accent, but it's really good. The Jackal.
Okay.
Watch that. You'll enjoy it, Jason. It's slow suspense,
Right.
and then just pops. Right? Yeah, you'll like it. The Jackal. Yeah.
So over the weekend, my wife and I watched State of Play, which is like a political thriller / mystery with Russell Crowe, Ben
Sounds
Affleck,
familiar.
Rachel McAdams, Robin Wright. Came out in 2000. I want to say 2010 or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, I'd never seen it before, and like I was just looking through Apple movies and said, "Oh, this sounds interesting." So we watched that, and then straight off of that, we watched this movie called The Ghost Rider, which
Not Ghost Rider,
no,
but Ghost
Riter.
Rider. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So Ewan McGregor plays a ghostwriter who's helping a former British Prime Minister write his memoirs. And
B-Mac out. Take care, sir.
oh, see you later, B-Mac.
Go on. Sorry.
So anyway, both of those were pretty good. I mean, they weren't like the best thrillers that you'll ever see in life. It's not like Vertigo or anything, but but they were both pretty fun.
Nice. Okay.
So
We're coming up on just over 2 hours. Well, probably less than that if you count the disconnect from you.
well, I mean, there was just the one. You were still here.
I know. I was trying to hold it down.
Yeah, I know. Well, I appreciate it. But yeah, I actually want to watch a couple of episodes of this Oak Creek, whatever it was. So
and I'm going to get back to watching The Office and not laughing.
Good. I mean, maybe it just needs to grow on you.
Okay, well, kind of like herpes, right? So
yeah.
Give everybody a preview. Do you have? Can you give us any preview to one or two more videos that might be coming out this week from Painfully Honest Tech?
Well, I of course have my iPhone review, my iPhone 11 Pro review.
Mm-hmm.
And so I may do that tomorrow. I may do it later in the week.
Mm-hmm.
I also was really thinking about making a video about this like tech negativity, toxicity.
Well, like doing like an official response?
Yeah.
Go for it, man.
Yeah.
But make sure you address your own stuff too, because
yeah.
People are gonna throw stones. You know that.
Oh yeah. But I mean I mean the whole thing about the negativity is that like it's a sort of damned if you do or damned if you don't kind of situation. But anyway, no, Genosis, I've taken photos, I've done some other stuff. I usually shoot, edit, and release in a single day.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I mean now that I'm home all the time, if I get up and start writing I've been getting up at like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, not tomorrow. I get to get up at a normal hour, but yeah, I get up early. I take a walk. I get coffee. I come down here. I start writing. I start shooting maybe around 11 o'clock or 10, and then try and edit and be done by 12 or 1. So,
I think of my ideas at least a week before, and then I schedule them in my calendar for So, for example, last Tuesday, I thought about like how I was going to do this, right? Even though there wasn't anything really groundbreaking about this video, right? That's how I've been doing it, so that I'm not running out of ideas, and so I know what I'm going into, and then I jot down notes if I need to here and there.
Right. So, Lon, if you sent me a Galaxy Fold, I would certainly review it. But it's that's not necessary.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do more of the early morning streams as well. Because I got a lot more of the international folks that watch the channel.
Mm-hmm. Did you lose light?
I don't know why. Maybe I unplugged it. I think I accidentally hit something with my foot. Okay. Anyway,
sun's getting low.
Yeah, but yeah, so I liked it. That was good. That was fun. I might like to do that, sort of on a more regular basis, but I haven't figured out exactly when or how. Because
you surprised me with that. I like woke up and I'm like, what's this note? What? Did I sleep through the podcast?
Yeah. So my daughter has cheerleading practice 3 days a week at 2 days a week at 6 and 1 day a week at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up and I take her to cheerleading practice, so I'm awake. I could just do a live stream, but
Cool.
So, but yeah, I'm good. The iPhone thing is coming. I've got a couple other ideas. I'm thinking about doing something in it as a response to the unbox therapy
Well,
video.
I think if anybody could do a critical or self-evaluating response, it would definitely be you.
Yeah.
You can talk about. You don't have to go into huge detail, like even Lou didn't.
Right.
But you can talk about how, like we said earlier today, we've all been guilty of straying down that path, right?
Right.
I especially did last year with some of my Pixel stuff, but it really did burn my fingers.
No, I get it. I get it. It's well, see, that's the thing. Like when there are things like that happen,
yeah,
I think it's appropriate to call it out and hold the company accountable and all that kind of stuff. But when there's not all that stuff, when oh yeah, the phone is good,
mm-hmm.
It feels disingenuous to just be to try and find negative things.
Yeah, and I think most people can kind of see through that when you're kind of hunting for the negative parts, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the delivery. I think you do a better service for the audience, the community, and the niche in general, our niche in general, our community in general, by being critical without going over the top. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah. Got my background rocking. Although my new desk is taller than my old desk, so it's too high. But I'll work it out.
Anywho, do you want to wrap things up, bud?
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody for being here tonight. There was tons of people in here. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the great conversation in the chat and otherwise. Thanks for sticking with us through all the technical difficulties.
We had 247. I think that's the most. It might have been more than that. That's pretty good for starting an hour late.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. I thought it was really fun. Yeah, and so we'll of course be back later on this week. Zach, you've got some videos coming up later on.
I've got at least one more this week.
Yeah,
Thursday. My schedule is Sundays and Thursdays, but there's so much going on right now. I'm just trying to fit as much as in. So Thursday for sure. There might be another one. We'll see. Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, as you guys know, my name is Jason, and that's Zach holding down the.
Aren't you sometimes known as the JTL?
Not anymore. No.
Not anymore.
No, that was several years ago, and now it's so
it feels
my
weird,
name is Jason. This is the Painfully Honest Tech Podcast. Until the next time, we're out.